Okay, before we go any further, yes I know, The Amazing Mr Blunden wasn't a TV series, it's a film. However, like me, you most have likely have seen this regularly on the TV in the 1970s and early 80s before it disappeared into the vaults of memory for many years. Is it creepy? Is it even a Christmas movie? Oh, let's have a look. The year is 1918, and war widowed Mrs Allen and a family of Lucy, Jamie and baby Benjamin are reduced to a squalid Camden flat. Just before Christmas, a mysterious old man called Mr Blunden comes to visit from a firm of solicitors and tells them of an opportunity to look after a derelict country mansion. Whilst in the grounds, Lucy and Jamie see the ghostly figures of two orphan children from a century earlier who beg them to help. And so begins an adventure that includes time travel, ghosts, and even a sentient library. Jamie and Lucy must travel back in time and save the two children from a terrible fate. The film was shot at Pinewood Studios and released to the cinemas in December 1972 with a U certificate, so it was nice and family friendly. It was directed by Lionel Jeffries not long after its success with The Railway Children. Sally Tomsett of The Railway Children and later Man About the House fame was promised a role of Lucy initially, however she had to pull out due to personal problems, so Lynn Frederick replaced her. Actors such as Spike Milligan, David Niven, Gene Wilder and even Donald Pleasance were considered for the part of Mr Blunden. However, I think they did make the right choice with Lawrence Naismith. The movie wasn't particularly well received on release, however it's made its mark with the children of the time when shown on TV in the 70s and 80s. The Amazing Mr Blunden is a charming piece of cinematography from early 1970s. Yes, like The Railway Children, it's very middle class, certainly more BBC than ITV. And I suppose on viewing it again, it's not particularly creepy, although I can recall being a little scared in places when I was watching this as a young boy. It's incredibly well acted throughout, including the kids. Everyone gives a fantastic performance, although I guess a standout performance has got to be Diana Dawes, who goes from a blonde bombshell of the 1950s and 60s to the scary harridan of this film. You know, it's hard to believe, but 10 years ago, getting a copy of this movie was damn near impossible. It had disappeared, only remembered vaguely by those of a certain age. If it hadn't been for Talking Pictures TV and then the 2021 remake, I think it would still be hard to get hold of a copy now. The Amazing Mr Blunden is adapted from the 1969 novel The Ghosts by Antonia Barber, and again, without the remake, getting a copy of this book would be difficult too. Those lucky enough to get a VHS version would have probably worn it out. And at one stage, DVD copies were going for a small fortune on eBay. I've seen several different edits though. The definitive version has the cast saying goodbye at the end, and also the famous "We Three Kings" comment at the end as well, which was missing from one version I've seen. The good news is though, that the one available on Amazon Prime at the moment for free doesn't appear to be edited. Lynn Frederick starred as Lucy Allen at the age of 18, by which time she was already becoming the established actress. Just 4 years later, she married Peter Sellers and then later David Frost. Sadly, Lynn died on the 27th of April 1994 at the age of just 39. Her cause of death was undetermined. Rosalind Landor starred as Sarah Latimer, who is still acting today, having also played a small part in the 2021 remake. Her biggest other role was perhaps Cat's Eyes in 1985. She now does mainly voice work for Big Finish. Gary Miller starred as Jamie Allen and Mark Granger as Georgie Latimer. Both seem not to have appeared on screen since Mr Blunden. Lawrence Naismith was prolific in movies and TV from the 1940s right through until the early 1980s. This was his final film before his death in 1992 at the age of 83. Former blonde bombshell Diana Dawes will be forever remembered by a generation as the evil Mrs Wickens, but acted from the late 1940s right up to the 1980s. If this isn't her greatest role, then surely the other must be the fairy godmother in Adamant's Prince Charming video. Stuart Locke, who played Thomas, also had a relatively short career on screen as well, but he did return for the 21 remake and also appeared in the TV series Sky, which we'll be looking at in a future video.
It's a wonderful place.
The film was shot at Pinewood Studios in Ivor, London. The exterior of the hall is in fact Heatherden Hall, which is in the grounds of Pinewood, and has been used for many movies, including Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Bugsy Malone, even Russia from Love, as well as a multitude of Carry On movies. Other scenes were filmed in the village of Hedgerley, just a few miles from Pinewood, including St Mary the Virgin Church. Okay, let's be honest. The Amazing Mr Blunden isn't that scary, unless you're pretty young like I was. In places it's almost strange, with one moment atmospheric moments such as the opening scenes, and then the downright slapstickness with Mrs Wickens being terrified by a floating vase. However, what The Amazing Mr Blunden is a great piece of British cinema that keeps up the tradition of a Christmas ghost movie, and I love it. I've also got to say a few words in defence of the 2021 remake. Remake is a harsh word, maybe reimagining is a better word. It wasn't that bad a film, and at the very least it helped remind everybody of just how good the original one was. Until next time, Merry Christmas everybody, and goodbye!
Oh. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Benji, say goodbye. Go on.
Cheerio then.
Oh, goodbye then.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Hope you enjoyed it. Bye. Come again. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.